and now The Rock. Oh, and what's her name? Michelle Rodriguez. Like, I love all of them together, and according to The Rock, it's that family dynamic is not going to come through us as much in this next movie. It's already bad enough that they're not going to have Paul, and now it's going to be like that too. But I just kind of feel like it kind of put a damper on it for me. I understand where he's coming from. He absolutely has every right to not like him. He has every right to feel how he feels about him. But I don't know. It just kind of put a damper on it for me because the reasons why we go to see this movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. But if The Rock gets along with everybody. If The Rock don't like you, you messed up.
Well, The Rock is a hustler. I mean, he's about working hard, and he's one of those guys. Everything that he got, he had to work hard for.
That's true.
So when he sees somebody, and he's a down to earth guy.
Right. That's how I always felt about him too.
Right. So he doesn't have time for the diva stuff, and especially too, he said, all the women, everybody else is doing what they have to do, and then here's this guy. And it wasn't like Vin Diesel was doing anything. He was just sitting in his trailer holding up production.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it wasn't like he was stuck in traffic.
And it's not reason for him to be acting like that. Why is he acting like that all of a sudden? Like, yeah, he is the star of the movies, that is true. But there's still no reason to be a a-hole about it. Like, I don't understand that behavior from anybody ever. I don't know.
I think he was a little bit intimidated by The Rock and The Rock's popularity. So he was letting everybody know, well, this is my show, so I don't care who they bring on. They can bring on Rock, they can bring on Tyrese, they can bring on whoever. I'm the star.
Well, that's lame.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to put it out there, The Rock is still saying whatever, he's candy ass or whatever, but Vin Diesel publicly has been very positive. He hasn't said anything bad about The Rock. He's only had positive things to say about him. He's basically saying, keep it peaceful, and
Well, he doesn't want to get smacked. You know what I mean? So.
I don't know.
He's a diva, but he's not stupid.
I don't know. Anyways, so we talked about him a couple of times on the show, and we were speculating last week about his Saturday Night Live appearance and what this is leading up to. And it's been officially announced Dave Chappelle is releasing 3 new comedy specials with Netflix. I am so excited. He's he's a legend to me, I believe. It's just unfortunately that he kind of stopped his career when it was at its height. But I don't think it's too late for Dave Chappelle. I definitely think he can come back, and as long as he keeps it funny. And Saturday Night Live, it was very promising for what's to come. As long as he keeps it funny, I think it's going to be great. What are your expectations for these comedy specials?
I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I mean, I don't know if I would say a legend, because I think he's too young for that right now, but I definitely think he's a superstar comedian. I mean, he's up there. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Who do you think? There's been a lot of comedians that have come and gone. Who would you like to see make a comeback?
That's everybody knows the answer.
Yeah, I know.
There's only one guy. That's Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
That's everybody's answer. I mean, that's the guy. I mean, I don't care who you are, white, black, old, young, you know what I mean, blind, totally, in a wheelchair. Everybody wants Eddie Murphy to come back.
Yeah, and it's been so long since Raw, which is his last. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. And that was his last stand-up comedy special. Right. Obviously, he continued to do movies and things like that. But my favorite stand-up comedy, I think, is always going to be Delirious. I think that's always going to be just my number one favorite. That was when he was a superstar. But I am afraid that Eddie Murphy has the fear, and that's why we haven't.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he's talked about it and teased for so long that he's writing new jokes and he's going to come back out. People were so excited when he was going to host I think it was the Emmys a couple years ago. Then he was going to host Saturday Night Live, and then he did Saturday Night Live, and then he didn't tell any jokes. And people were like, what's going on, Eddie?
He does have the fear, because he was supposed to host the Oscars, and then like a month before he canceled, and he was supposed to come back to Saturday Night Live and do all these Bill Cosby jokes, and then he canceled. You said, he came on, but he didn't do the jokes, and he's just gun shy, because his movies are just bombed, but his stand-ups have never bombed.
That's true. That's true, but I think it's been years and years of flops for Eddie Murphy.
Right.
But I mean, I guess you can say it's because he's not writing those movies, and if he wrote his own jokes and came out with a comedy special, it's what everybody's looking for from Eddie. Nobody's really looking for these movie choices that he's making. I think everybody is just looking for the stand-up. And I think if he did it and he went on tour, or even if he did just one show and he came out the movie, I think it would do amazing. Like, I think it would make so much money.
He's got to get out, though. I think, you can't just sit in a mansion with no internet and just coming out the house to get coffee with your girlfriend and then going back in the mansion.
Yeah.
Like, you have to live life. I mean, comedians... They get inspired by, different crazy things that they see, but you're just living a sheltered life. You're not going to have any inspiration.
That's true. That's very true. It's kind of like, you remember that hiatus that Michael Jackson had before he came out with Invincible, and then he didn't come out with anything again for like 8 years. He said that he was keeping his ear to the ground, basically. He said, I listen to everything. I listen to all the new music. I listen to rap. I listen to pop. Not just in America. He's like, I listen to everything all over the United States, and I see what people are doing. So maybe, I don't know if Eddie Murphy is doing that. We don't know if he's seeing like the Kevin Harts and people like that and what they're doing and what's working and what's not working.
Well, I've seen Sinbad and
Sinbad
and what's the Damon Wayans on their club tours, and that's where they perfect their stand up before they go and do the big audience.
Yeah.
So it's a small, more intimate crowd, and that's what Eddie Murphy has to do. He has to do the small clubs and, perfect his material.
Yeah.
And, if they don't laugh, okay, take this joke out. Nobody's laughing at it. You know what I mean? But this joke killed, so leave it in and, and build it back up.
Yeah, he could have had that longevity, like somebody like Jerry Seinfeld. He's never taken a break. He's still doing stand up to this day, and he's still doing well. You know what I mean? And it's been like 30 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think if he would have never just took that break, it wouldn't have been an issue at all.
And what is the guy on the late night guy? He used to be on after Jay Leno.
Was he
the redhead guy? He's on like TBS or TNT now.
Conan?
Yes, Conan. He's been around forever and he's never been funny.
Oh my gosh, I disagree.
You think Conan is funny?
I do. I love Conan O'Brien.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Why you don't think he's funny? He's funnier than Jay Leno. I never thought Jay Leno was funny.
I didn't say Jay Leno was funny.
Oh, okay. I'll just say because Jay Leno's been around for how long? And I never thought Jay Leno was funny. Kimmel is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But I do like Conan. I watch Kimmel way more than I watch any of the other late night shows, but I don't know. I guess Dane Cook is still around and people don't think he's funny, but I'm one of the my favorite comedian currently is Bill Burr. I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. And Louis C.K., I think they're great. And then Kevin Hart, he's funny too. And Everett wants to know, how do you feel about Kevin Hart's stand-up?
I think it's good. I don't think Kevin Hart's problem isn't his stand-up. It's oversaturation. He's everywhere. I mean, the TV shows, every other movie, so we never get a chance to miss him because he's coming out with stuff so often that you get to a point where I don't even want to see anything he's doing anymore. I'm tired of it.
It's overload.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing about... So Eddie Murphy's only done 3 stand-ups. And one wasn't even televised. One is just a record. I mean... Kevin Hart's been out for how many years, and he's done 1 million.
Yeah.
Million movies, TV shows. He's everywhere. It's like I said, it's just oversaturation.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been lucky in the fact, I don't know if I would say it's luck or if it's just smart decisions that he hasn't done like a bunch of really bad movies. Like he's done movies that I didn't care for as much. There's some that I've loved, like I love Think Like a Man. Mm-hmm. The Secret Life of Pets was adorable. That's the animated movie. There was another one I can't think of that he's like, there's some that I'm just like kind of just like But with him doing so many movies, I think he needs to be careful about what he's picking out, so he can't keep playing the same character over and over and over again.
That's what he does. So look at Eddie Murphy when he started his career. He did 48 Hours, where he, and then he did Trading Places, where he's like, he had that kind of role where he's with Aykroyd and everything. And then he did Beverly Hills Cop. So he was changing up every time, but Kevin Hart is the same kind of loudmouth little knucklehead character, like
well, he plays himself.
Right. And he does the same thing everywhere you see him. If he's on ESPN, he does the same thing. If he's on a late night show, if he's at NBA All-Star Weekend, he's doing that same character all the time. So it just gets to a point where, you know what I mean? Okay, enough, man. Go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He should, I think he can keep it comedy and just show a little bit more variety. He definitely could use some more variety. And hopefully we'll see that in the coming years. It doesn't seem that way, but Chris is pointing out that Eddie Murphy played a vampire as well.
Yes, right.
And he did the, I don't know if it'll be considered a romantic comedy. The one, I actually really like this movie. I watched it on Netflix not too long ago with Robin Givens and Halle Berry. I'm trying to think of the name. And it was like a romantic comedy type of thing, and he was the player. Then Robin Givens ended up playing him.
Yes.
And then he got a Halle Berry at the end. I like that. So he's definitely played a variety. What is the name of that movie? It's gonna bother the heck of me. This is why we need a fact checker on the show. Boomerang. That's the one. Yes. Okay. I actually really like that movie. But obviously Beverly Hills Cop is a classic, and it catapulted him into superstardom. With Kevin Hart, I don't think any of his roles have been like that classic Kevin Hart role that he's always going to be remembered by, like Beverly Hills Cop was, but hopefully it comes. I don't know. We'll see.
You know what movie I want to see Eddie Murphy do? I want to see Eddie Murphy do a movie where he's doing the barbecue that he talked about in the stand-up. Remember with the, you know what I mean, with the aunt falling down the stairs and the lighter fluid, and do that movie and have Eddie Murphy playing all the different characters and that.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard at that aunt joke. She was falling down the stairs for someone. It's like, I'm halfway down now. I was too done. Yes, that actually would make a great movie. His brother Charlie and all those antics. That would be so funny. I don't know who would play Eddie, but young Eddie, but that would be really cool. People have been speculating about Eddie Murphy lately too, because there was like an interview and he made a comment and it was like, we would love to see you in a superhero movie, and he said that he actually would do it if it was rooted in comedy somehow. So everyone's like, oh, what movie can we put him in? Like, what superhero movie could we put him in? And I'm like, I don't know, but that would be really cool. If Jim Carrey can do it, Eddie Murphy can do it. Have him play a villain, who cares? Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about one of my favorite shows. I have a love-hate relationship with this show, and we watched it for 6 seasons. There's been so many ups, so many downs. Sometimes I want to rage quit. It just gets me so mad. Sometimes I'm like, yo, this is the best show on television, and that's The Walking Dead. And we do have a TWD podcast that comes on every Tuesday with ideas. And they talk about the episode that just aired, but we're not going to talk about the actual episodes. We're going to talk about something very new for the Walking Dead world. Season 7 premiere. Wait, is it season 7? Yeah, season 7 premiere was a colossal hit. 17 million fans tuned in, which is the highest ratings they've gotten since the season 5 premiere. And it's dropped 6 million since then. So that means every single week ratings have been declining in a way it hasn't since season 3. So they're at their kind of their lowest. Now, what do you, because you watched the show too, you've seen all the episodes, what do you think could possibly be the cause of people quitting the show at this point?
I think it's the stories are starting to blend together. The seasons, the everything, it's new faces but the same story. Before it was the governor, now it's Negan, and it's the same exact story. And I think it's also just getting a little bit, I don't know if they're trying to make it like HBO, but the language is getting too raw, the violence is getting too much. I mean, after the way that Glenn and Abraham were killed and how graphic it was and how he was talking to Maggie and everything like that, I told you, I'm really losing my passion for the show, and also too the